Just as a disclaimer, we want you to know that some of the movies that we will be reviewing were shot in a different time and era where people of race and sex were not treated equally. We understand this and hope you do too. The movies or anything that happened on the sets are not the views of this podcast or what this show is intended to be all about.
Exactly. And we want to give due diligence in presenting the movie and not the views of the cast or directors or anyone involved. But we also feel it's necessary to let the audience know some of the background information to get a feel for what was happening at the time of shooting the film. Again, we hope you understand that we do not agree with everything that went on, and we just want to give out the information. And with that being said, hope you enjoy the show.
In this modern age, too many people have lost sight of the true meaning of Christmas.
Mom! Hush!
Shut up, Ralphie! So now, in the spirit of the original,
Me to you! Stop!
traditional, American Christmas,
Thanks a lot!
MGM presents A Christmas Story.
Dashing through the snow
Uncle!
in a one-horse open sleigh. For the field we go, laughing all the way. Bells on bobtail ring, making spirits fly. What fun it is to ride and sing!
Fragile. That must be Italian.
I think that's Mr. Fragile, honey.
A Christmas Story.
Come on!
The movie that pulls off Santa's beard. And unwraps the secrets
Didn't I get a tie this year?
of the original, traditional,
He looks like a deranged Easter bunny.
100% two-fisted, red-blooded,
It's smiling at me.
all-American Christmas. A Christmas Story.
All right, guys, welcome back to the Tragedy of Cinema, the 12 Days of Christmas. Today we are on number 10, so you better be getting your shopping done because it's Christmas Eve.
Yep.
So just a little bit more
Means
time
if
to
you're
get
shopping
done.
now, it's probably too late.
Hey, but at least we're in yours. we can keep you company. So we'll be talking about the beloved classic, A Christmas Story. And once again, I'm your host, Jimbo, joined by my millennial cohort, the Grinch.
Terrence.
Terrence. And yes, we have a special guest back in the studio. None other than the one, the only, the legend. Eric Cummings is back once again. Lifelong, pretty much since second grade friend. So, you know how we do these. We just jump right in and get going. No jokes, no nothing. Let's go, Terrence.
Alright.
I'm excited for this movie.
Yeah, this is like one of Eric's favorite movies, so I'm glad he's here
he
with
was
us.
real excited, as we were, getting all our paperwork together and everything. You can tell his excitement for this movie.
He even wrote his own notes.
He brought his own notes.
So this is where this guy
That's a
comes.
first.
Gotta be prepared.
He's more prepared than Terrence is on any given day.
That is fact. All right, A Christmas Story. Release date, November 18th, 1983. Its budget was $3.3 million, estimated. If you account for inflation, that is $83.9 million. I might have botched the calculations there. That seemed way too steep.
No.
Anyway, opening weekend USA, we got $2 million. That was as of November 1983. Now we're looking at 5.2 million for today, and that is an accurate calculation. Gross USA 20 million, and that's for today. That's 52.4 million. So it made its money back.
Absolutely.
That's a lot of chinga.
It almost broke even on opening weekend, and then during its gross, it completed it, the rest of it out, and made lots of money, made it back. This was directed by Bob Clark. Writing credits goes to Gene Shepard, who wrote the based on the novel "In God We Trust, All Others Pay Cash."
Right.
Also by Gene Shepard, who helped write the screenplay along with Leah Brown and Bob Clark. The technical specs: runtime 1 hour and 34 minutes, so average movie length as always. Sound mix: mono. This is a color movie. Aspect ratio 1.85 by 1. Camera Panavision Panaflex. So very popular camera. We've seen it on like 90% of our movies.
Yeah, heard it a lot. Yeah.
Laboratory. This was edited in Medallion Film Laboratories in Toronto, Canada. So that's a different location that this was that the film was edited itself. Seeing as it's usually at a Hollywood,
right,
or one of their own studios. Also Metro Color, Clover City, USA, where the prints were done. So this was done in 2 different locations.
Okay.
That's also I think a second.
Maybe one of the reasons why they edited it in Canada was I know it was shot. A great portion of the movie was shot in Canada, so it would make sense maybe that they edited some of it there.
Yeah,
all right, yeah.
A lot of it was shot in Toronto.
Yeah,
some outside scenes.
Shot and edited in Toronto.
Right.
Yeah. Film length 5,360 meters. Negative format 35 millimeter. Cinematographic process spherical, and printed film format 35 millimeter. And now for the awards. Let's start off with the Genie Awards, 1984. Winner for the Genie, Best Achievement in Direction, Bob Clark, tied with David Cronenberg for Videodrome, 1983. Screenplay, Leah Brown. Then we have, that's my last one there. There we go. Okay, best screenplay. I was like,
you're still in the Genie,
Leah
though,
Brown.
right?
Yeah, this is still the Genie. Bob Clark and Gene Shepard. Now, the other nominations are. So that's what they won. They won best.
What is the Genies?
Achievement. I don't know. I have to look it up.
Gene Shepard makes a cameo in the movie. Do you know where? I'm getting ahead with my trivia question.
Yeah.
He's going through the direction.
You better hold on.
These are the things they were nominated for. They were nominated for Best Motion Picture, Bob Clark, Renee Dupont. Best Performance by an Actress in a Supporting Role, Teddy Moore. Best Achievement in Cinematography, Reginald H. Morris. Best Achievement in Costume Design, Mary E. Micklode. Best Achievement in Film Editing, Stan Cole. Best Achievement in Sound Editing, David Evans, Steve Cole, Wayne Griffin, and Kenneth Healy Ray. Best Achievement in Overall Sound, Kenneth Healy Ray, David Appleby, and Dino Piggott. Now, see, it seems like the Genies are really surrounding along the technical engineering side of making a movie, seeing as what they highlighted and got nominated.
I'm going to look them up real quick because I've never heard of them.
And so while you're looking that up, I'm going to move on to the film, National Film Preservation Board, USA, 2012.
Okay, here you go.
Okay.
The Genie Awards were given out annually by the Academy of Canadian Cinema and Television to recognize the best of Canadian cinema from 1980 to 2012. They succeeded the Canadian Film Awards from 1949 to 1978, also known as the Etrog Awards, for sculptor Sorrel Etrog, who designed the statue. And here's what it looks like. I don't even know what
I don't know how to describe that to the listeners.
How would you describe this?
It looks like a.
I would say it kind of looks like a compass. A compass that the compass. Like if you squeezed a compass together, like for school.
Okay,
it's kind of looks like that.
That's a way better description.
I guess.
I was gonna say it just looks like a piece of modern art.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
it's just that doesn't resemble anything.
No.
Where was I? Yes, National Film Preservation Board. Once again, we're back to it. USA 2012, they won the National Film Registry. Writers Guild of America, USA 1984, they were nominated for the WGA Awards screen for Best Comedy Adapted by Another Medium. Gene Shepard, Leigh Brown, and Bob Clark. Young Artist Award 1985, Best Family Motion Picture, Musical, or Comedy. And they were nominated for... Oh, these are all nominations. Okay, gotcha. Best Young Supporting Actor in Motion Picture, Musical, Comedy, Adventure, or Drama. That is a very broad category there. That was Ian Petrella. Best Young Actor in Motion Picture, Musical, Comedy, Adventure, or Drama, Peter Billingsley. And that is everything for the awards. We don't have a synopsis, do we?
No. Go ahead, Eric. Give us the synopsis of the movie.
Yeah.
A young boy desires a Red Ryder BB gun.
200 count.
For Christmas. It is his mania. It's actually...
It drives his will.
Everything centers around him getting this specific Christmas present. He mentions it in the movie. I think I read somewhere where it's mentioned by name like every minute and 30 seconds or almost every 2 minutes of the movie. So it's referenced many times. So that's his greatest desire for Christmas is to receive this Christmas gift.
Wow. He just told the whole movie. And that's a wrap. All right. So, Eric, take away the cast.
All right. The cast. Peter Billingsley as Ralphie Parker, also considered for the role of Star Trek fame. Will Wheaton was actually for the part.
And who did he play in Star Trek?
Crusher.
Wesley
Crusher,
right? Yep.
Yeah. I'm not real familiar with Star Trek.
Oh, we're going to have to get you there.
Yeah. Gene Shepard as adult Ralphie. He also is the narrator and the voice of Ralphie in his head, and he also makes a cameo appearance in the movie later.
I was going to say, is this?
You know the answer to my question.
I'm going to point this out, and I don't know if I'm right or not, but I'm going to say it's when the dad's outside on the sidewalk looking at the lamp, and the neighbor that walks up.
That's a good guess, but you're
no,
not right. It's actually when they're going
mall?
to see Santa in the mall,
and
he tells Ralphie the line ends here. It starts down
that was
there.
Going to be my other guess.
So yeah, so that is Gene Shepard, the writer of the actual screenplay. Ian Petrella as Randy Parker, Melinda Dillon as Mrs. Parker,
and she was also in Harry and the Hendersons. She's been in a lot of stuff. A good actress.
Darren McGavin as Mr. Parker, also considered for the role, which this might have been an interesting take, was Jack Nicholson and Earl Holliman.
But
not sure who Earl Holliman is, but
he's a Golden Globe winner, I know.
Okay.
But the interesting thing about Mr. Whatever his name is, Darren
McGavin.
Yeah, the interesting thing about him is his name is not mentioned throughout the entire movie. He's just known as the old man.
Yep.
They never say his dad's name. The entire movie.
Really? That's a tidbit.
That's why it says the old man. Yeah.
Okay. Scott Schwartz as Flick, and R.D. Robb as Schwartz. Zach Ward as Scott Farkas. Yano Anya as Grover Dill. And Teddy Moore as Miss Shields. And Jeff Gillen as Santa Claus.
Dun dun dun. So this is one of those holiday movies that, man, it's become so popular. It even gets shown 24 hours, like one weekend on
TBS.
Just
24 hours.
24 hours of a Christmas story. So you can sit there and watch it 24 hours time,
you can catch it again.
or you can just come home and drop by it anytime you want. Although he occupies the screen most of the time, Peter Billingsley only has about 93 lines of dialogue.
Really?
Because most
the narrator,
of it, the narrator takes over, and he's just sitting there talking, and Ralphie's just, And I wonder how they did that. I wonder if they read the lines as they're acting, or they just had to sit there, you know what I mean, and do the emotions, you know what I mean, and it was added later.
In film and in the creation of film, it's interesting because you get different takes depending on who you're talking to. But line readings could be seen as like either like sometimes offensive, but sometimes helpful. It really depends on who you're working with. But now I'm not sure how it works with children, but I would imagine they maybe gave him some directions with some line readings, and then he would act out his part.
No, but what I'm saying is he wasn't the narrator. The narrator in the
Is Gene
movie
Shepard, right?
is Gene Shepard.
Yeah.
So Ralphie, but it's actually Ralphie, I guess, technically when he's
yeah,
older.
yeah.
Right,
You know what
it's
I mean?
in his mind.
Right.
It's-
So what I'm saying is, like, if we're sitting here talking, and let's say you're just sitting there and you're nodding at me or whatever, but
Yeah.
I'm not, speaking. Let's just say we're eating or whatever, and then let's say my wife is saying, "Well, here are the three friends sat at the table doing this stupid podcast that I could care less about," and look at Terrence, he's falling asleep or whatever. Would she be saying that as we're sitting here?
Oh, no,
or
it's
did they
separate.
film
That is
this and
later.
then
They
added
put
later?
that
Is
in.
what I'm
It is-
saying. And I'm
okay, I
saying,
get what you're saying.
did they act that out and say, "Okay, we just need you to act normal for"?
In that case,
20
I
seconds. You see what I'm
guarantee
saying?
It was separate. Like,
Put in
I
later,
am
right.
like 98%. I'm not going to say 100 because I'm never that sure, but I'm going to say 98%.
That's what I'm saying.
Sure.
That's what I thought.
90% sure that it was recorded separate. He was in a sound studio. To
But
record
I
this.
wonder. But I wonder if they recorded that first and then let the people hear it,
Oh.
or if the people acted
Typically
and
you
he
put it in later.
Typically, you won't.
or if they were
hear
even
the
wrote at
added
the same
stuff.
time.
So, like, when it comes to sort of any of the like audio that's added into movies, typically this is all done after. So I imagine his voice recordings were done after the filming was wrapped, and then he did his voice lines. And then it's interesting with like 9 times out of 10 they just give them like some vague instruction, or they'll just
Direction.
substitute something else. Like in a lot of movies, when you see them dancing and they're dancing to music or whatever, 9 times out of 10 they're dancing to nothing, or it's just like a metronome or something. Like
Right.
it's something super basic. There's no actual music playing as they're trying to act out this scene. So it's similar when you have a narrator. They're not going to play the narration as you're acting out your part.
Right.
They're just going to tell you what the scene entails. They're just like, okay, we need you to do this, and you go, okay, and then you do your thing.
Well, now that we've shut down the internet, no. I think another cool thing about this movie is it's set in Indiana. I guess where we're recording this at in
Holy
Indiana.
crap.
It's set in Hammond, Indiana, even though the house is technically and the filming was done in Cleveland,
Cleveland and Canada, yeah.
right? But I mean, the house is actually in Cleveland. And they said the people of Cleveland they were very courteous to him. That they would all the people that had the vintage vehicles, they would bring them out for him to use to make it feel authentic. Like downtown Cleveland helped out. The automobiles were lined up on a certain route through the public square. They were instructed to continue circling the square until otherwise instructed to stop.
Yeah, the setting is
Rolled salt was a major concern for the car owners. So the cars were pressure washed each day after filming and parked underground beneath the terminal tower, which I thought was very, very awesome
Preserve
about
those
them.
cars.
Yeah. I mean, they're very enthusiastic, but yes, that
In 2005, the original home used for the exterior shots of the family's home was put up for auction on eBay, and an avid fan of the movie, Brian Jones, purchased it directly from the seller for how much?
$150,000.
$150,000. Jones then spent the following year restoring the home the way it looked on the screen. The exterior was completely restored, and the interior was renovated to match the interior of the home shown in the movie. On November 25th, 2006, the home finally opened its doors as a tourist attraction. Jones spent close to $500,000 in preparation for this grand opening. In addition, he also purchased the house next door and converted it to a gift shop and museum dedicated to the film and the house.
I mean, I bet he made the money back.
Have you been there?
I have not, but
Road trip!
Yeah, I was gonna say,
Hey,
now
we're going to take the
you know.
tragedy of cinema on the road, and we're going to from
live
Cleveland.
podcast from Cleveland, yeah.
I wonder how
That
much it
reminds
cost.
me a lot of the show, like HGTV, I think is redoing the Brady House. Have you seen that?
I've seen something like that,
They're
like Fixing Up
redoing-
Brady or something
they
like
actually
that.
bought the original Brady Bunch house and they're
Yeah.
redoing the inside to make it look like the set.
To keep up with the crazy fans, or mega fans, a behind-the-scenes documentary called Road Trip for Ralphie follows 2 mega fans on a 2-year quest to locate and visit every location used in the movie.
Wow.
Well then,
Along the way, they uncover Miss Shield's chalkboard from a dumpster. From a dumpster. Discover all the movie's costumes hidden in a Toronto warehouse, track down the antique fire truck seen in the movie, and visit the forgotten location of the actual Chop Suey Palace.
that's Wow.
Man,
Now that
that's
is
dedication, buddy.
It took them 2 years to do that, and I'd like to watch that documentary.
Fan movie.
Huh?
I said, what a fan.
I mean, that's like
the
if
doc,
you if
that's-
you wanted to go watch go tour where all the Lord of the Rings was shot over there in New Zealand and everything. Can you imagine
yeah.
trekking to Mount Doom? But I mean that for 2 years. I mean, you wonder what people do for a living. Just to, hey, I'm just going to go off for 2 years. So this movie has it all. He obviously wants this BB gun. He has his mindset on. His mom's like, "You're going to put your eye out with that kid. You're not going to get it. You're too young.
You're going to put your eye out."
And I thought what was interesting about it is he tells his mom he wants it. She's like, "You'll put your eye out with you."
Yeah.
He tells Santa Claus he wants it. He says,
"Put your eye out, kid."
Kicks him down the slide. He tells his teacher, even writes an essay about it. I want this. And what she do? She gives him a C+, and at the bottom she writes, "You'll put your eye out with it." I thought it was very ironic that the one person that bought him the gun was the one person he didn't ask.
Yeah.
That is interesting.
Now I know he stuck that leaflet in one of the magazines, but I thought it was
Look
his
magazine.
But I thought it was his mom's magazine.
Yeah, it
wasn't
was.
So maybe it fell out. She's seen it up there. The dad's seen it up there.
Now, did either one of you have an obsession with BB guns when you were that age? Did you want one? Or did you get one?
At that age, it was more of the.
Harrison was just last year.
So yesterday, no, shut up. No, so when I was younger, I liked the those old cap guns with the red strips and a little bit, yeah. So I liked those because when I was like a kid, I was obsessed with westerns and outlaws and stuff like that. Billy the Kid was like one of my favorite movies, Young Guns. And so I was obsessed with that, and it wasn't until I was a teenager that I got into BB guns.
Yeah, that's cool. Jimbo?
Well, I'm getting ready to tell on myself, but for the sake of the podcast, I know my dad and mom's going to be listening to this, and I'm going to feel bad. But my cousin David, you know David,
Yep.
He had several pellet guns, BB guns, and we would go down to Salina, Tennessee, to see my great grandparents. And we could. It's just a small town.
BB guns were around when you were a kid?
Yeah, it wasn't the Red Riders, but we could walk to the town, the square, and they would sell BBs. You see how he opens up that thing. That's exactly how they were.
Really?
And we would buy those. They would sell them to us. But David had all these things, and my great grandpa had a chicken coop in the back of his. Yeah, it was chicken.
Start picking them
No. He told us that he would give us a nickel or a quarter or whatever for each bird we shot because they were coming in there and stealing the chicken's food. So we was like, oh, okay. So
Kid's dream.
We would be sitting back there behind the shed. And, you see the bird land. Wow, oh, we got one. Go up there, pump it. He had one of them pump ones.
Right,
You would be like,
that's what I remember.
you were like, oh, you get it down.
You felt like you almost broke it. You're there.
I mean, we got so good, we'd be shooting them off the wires, I mean, I feel terrible saying this because, But here comes the part where you know what the state bird is of Tennessee?
Uh-oh.
Yeah. Well, let's just say I accidentally might have injured one. And I was so scared, man. I was like, I'm going to jail. The jail was right up the road, this little bitty jail. And I was like, I'm going to jail. And I told my great grandpa, I said, I shot the state bird. I was like, oh, that's nothing. They had like a little creek that ran by, right by the, he picked it up, he just threw it over into this creek. And I was like, so.
Gave it a burial at sea.
Sorry, Mom and Dad, you had to hear that now. But I played around with them all the time. But he even had those, what was it, the CO2 cartridge things you would put in.
I remember those, yeah.
Did you have one?
I wasn't big. I never had one. My dad had them, just from when he was a kid. I don't know if he had a Red Ryder or not, but I actually had a friend that you would know that was injured, had a BB gun injury, got shot in the temple. So that was kind of like one of the things.
Yeah, who was it?
My parents always used to. I won't mention his name.
That's right. You do
have
to tell me.
I'll tell you after.
I remember
my parents
something
would
like
always
that.
use that one as, see, these are dangerous. I know they're dangerous.
Right.
That
But
was one of their excuses for
I
not
still
having
want one.
We live in the city. You can't just go around toting a gun.
Well, even when we would, and what stuck with me, especially with this movie being a kid at that age, is I remember shooting tin cans. You set them up on like the fence line, trying to knock them off. And I remember when you would shoot those things, it would hit it and it would bounce back sometime.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it is very dangerous.
It is.
But when you're a kid, they're not going to tell you, anything.
You know, like I'm listening to your guys' like first BB gun. I'm like, oh man, my first BB gun was like, it was a Derringer that I bought from like I went to the mall with my buddies and I had some cash from mowing lawns.
Derringer, never heard of her.
So we were just exploring the mall and stuff, and there was one store that just sold random things, and then they had BB guns. I was like, oh man, and then I bought like this little Derringer BB gun for like $12, and it was powerful for like a month, and then after that the spring just died, and then it was like the crappiest BB gun. But it was fun.
Now the kids got like the paintballs, they've got them airsoft guns, and I'm like, man, where was all this stuff? You know what I mean? I mean, could you imagine if we would have had paintballs back then? Man, we would have just torn it up. We would have just torn it up.
I run paintball.
Cops and robbers.
I'll tell you a little quick story about Eric, because since he wanted to throw some, I'll throw some out there.
Okay.
Our families went on vacation one time to Florida, right? So we would go out there and we would take this bread out there, and these seagulls were out there, and you would just throw the bread up, and there's like
get attacked.
500 of them. You know what I mean? Do you remember that?
Yeah.
I think I have a picture somewhere of us doing
horseshoes.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's for another podcast. Eric's like, please.
Sorry,
please.
I just threw that out there because
I'm gonna have to tell your daughters, hey, make sure you tune in to hear
the theme of every young boy's dream is to have a BB gun, and it kind of holds up. Yeah, from 1940 when this is set to the 1980s, but it still was a popular toy.
But let's go back to when we were kids. It was about your imagination too, because you would play cowboys and Indians. You know what I mean? And that was a big thing because we were outside most of the time. You know what I mean? And now you're inside most of the time. So I think there's a big contrast. You know.
Yeah, if you want to shoot a gun, you can always do it on a video game.
Right. You don't have to interact with people. Right. But sad thing, realization is some people take those and do the wrong things with them. Yeah. Let's not. So, all right. So he's won this BB gun. So back to the movie after our little rabbit trail. There, Terrence is like, I thought this wasn't going to be a long one. He's like, Sorry, Terrence. We went down a rabbit trail.
It's all good.
The family eats meatloaf, red cabbage, and mashed potatoes for dinner every night.
Meal.
Every night. I
love red cabbage, Ralphie.
One thing about this movie is you'll notice is Ralphie has an imagination. He goes into several imagination scenes, like when he's sitting at the table and he starts daydreaming about, because he's like, what do you want? He's like, I'll take some, what was he say, Lincoln Logs or Tinker Toys or whatever he says, remember? And he's like, and then he's just depressed. Then he starts thinking, he's like, yeah, I got Old Blue or whatever. And he's out there, the robbers, he sees the robbers coming in. Yeah. And his mom and dad are hiding under the table with what's going to happen? He's like, he got that big old chew in his mouth. He's like, and he's out there and he starts shooting them, and then there's another scene later on where...
Whatever happened to Lincoln Logs, by the way? Just, they just vanished one day.
They're still there. Didn't they go into the Hall of Fame, Toy Hall of Fame or something?
I don't know. I haven't seen them in a while. I remember my grandparents.
I don't see him at any toy store.
So there's also the scene where he's going. Remember when he dreams about his teacher grading his paper?
Yeah.
And she's like, F. Is there not one good paper here I can read? And she's like, Ralphie. And she opens up. She's like, Ralphie. Hey, plus on the top
around the
and he gets up, he starts waving,
those fantasy scenes are great.
Yeah, but there was one fantasy scene that was cut. It was shot, but it was cut. An elaborate fantasy sequence in which Ralphie joins, Flash Gordon to fight Ming the Merciless was filmed, but finally dropped from the final cut. I would like to see it. I think it would be funny. Let's see. Is there anything on this page? I think this page is done. Let's see. Eric, you want to throw something out there while we're still here? Let's talk about one of the most famous scenes of the movie.
Okay.
What would you say if I tell you what is the most famous scene of this movie? What first comes to your mind that probably every person thinks of when you say A Christmas Story?
The most famous scene of the movie? Flick getting his tongue
stuck to the pole, right? Yeah. So, Terrence, do you know how they did that? How did they achieve the tongue sticking to the pole? No, he didn't really stick his tongue to the pole. Although he did stick his tongue to the pole. Right.
It's actually very interesting. It's some awesome, camera angles. and just
there was a suction
set
tube,
tricks.
right.
Exactly. So it was actually a plastic pole. And they used basically air suction to keep his tongue onto it, and they just angled the camera just so you couldn't see the hole.
I crack up. I watched that this morning. As a matter of fact, when they're sitting there and they come back and he's like, don't leave me, guys. He's like, the bell rang. He's like, but don't leave me. He's like, what do you want me to do? The bell rang. So they're all sitting in the class, and Ralphie's just like, looking around. The way he acts is, she's like, has anybody seen Flick? And yeah, she's like, I'm gonna ask this woman, has anybody seen Flick? And she's like, Ralphie. She points him out to Ralphie. She's like, I didn't do it. And then she's like, has nobody seen him? And he's like, that little girl's like. She looks out, she's like, oh my, and she starts running, and then they all run over to the window while she runs out there to check on him, and the one guy's like, oh, there's a fire truck, and Ralphie's like, oh no, and he's like, oh man, the cops are here. He's like starting to sink down.
It actually worked. I think Mythbusters actually did an episode on this, and your tongue will stick to a frozen bubble.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
I just think that was one of the most iconic scenes. Then you see him come in, man, and he's got that stuffing all in his mouth, and she's like, now I know one of you boys put him up to this. She's like, but he won't tell any names. You can just see Ralphie looking around like it wasn't
plays it off great.
I just think it was so perfectly done. But he's like, but the bell rang. He didn't want to be late for the bell. Yeah, that was great. And then another scene is a famous thing is when he's getting bullied the entire movie by what's his name, Scott Farkus. And him and what's his little friend's name?
Grover Dill.
Yeah. So Scott's always got that stupid hat on, that Daniel Boone hat on, coonskin, right? So I mean, they're getting chased the whole entire movie. And say uncle, and man, Ralphie just got in trouble for something, remember? And he's walking on his way home, and man, Farkas says something to him, and you just see him, man, he just
pegs him with that snowball.
Yeah, right in the eye. And then you just see Ralphie, man, you just see it building up, and he's had enough, man. And then he's just like, rah! He just runs over, and he just goes, he's like, boom, boom. I mean, and he's like, rah, 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 and an underlining tone of this movie is the over the top. I want to say language, but I don't. The way they talk. His dad's the same way, like with the furnace. You know what I mean? Where matter of fact, he ad-libbed all the profane rants while fighting the furnace.
Yeah, it's just
you know what
gibberish.
I mean? Yeah, it's just gibberish because they wanted to make sure they kept that PG rating.
Yeah, right.
So when Ralphie, they said that when he did his, it was all scripted. What he said.
Oh, okay.
So, but man, he is just waylaying on that kid. You see the blood on the kid's face. That one kid's like, "Hey, man, what are you doing?" He just shoves him out of the way too. He's just like, "Right," and they're like, "What's he saying?" And so his little brother runs and tells on him. And his mom comes out. And he's like, so he goes back to the house or whatever.
I feel like that's like a lost comedic thing that was used a lot. With older movies and such, which just like when they wanted to simulate cursing, it'd just be like
yeah. Well, another famous in this movie where they get the flat tire on the way home, and she's like, "We'll go out there and help your dad." He's like, "Really?" He's like, "Oh, I'm finally grown up enough to be able to go out there and help." And he gets out there and he's like, "Here, hold these. Keep all the bolts in here." And something happens and Ralphie drops them and they go flying. He's like, "Oh, fudge." Yeah. And they go, he's like, "But I didn't say fudge." He's like, it was the big one. He's like, "It was F dash dash dash." And his dad's like, "What did you say?" He's like, "That's what, go get in the car." So he gets to but the funny thing about his dad always thought that he was like in the Indy 500. Remember? He's like, "Time me." He's out there. So you see Ralphie get in the car, man, and he knows he's in trouble, man. Next thing you see that soap in his oh man. And what was the name of the soap that they use?
Lifebuoy.
Yeah, Lifebuoy. And he's like, it had to be Lifebuoy. And the funny thing about that is after he gets done, and she's like, she takes out. He's like, "Well, Ralphie, where did you hear that?" And
No, I had heard that 100 times a day from my old man.
Yeah. But he's like, "But I couldn't say that." And he's like, so he rats on his friend, man.
Yeah, the kid gets.
So she sticks it back in his mouth, man. And his mom goes and calls him, and he's like, I want to say Mrs. Johnson. I don't remember her name. He's like, "Yeah."
And then
do you know what Ralphie just said? You can hear it. "Oh no, what did he say?" She's like, "Oh no, not that." And she goes, "Well, and do you know where he heard it from? Your boy." "What?" then he just starts like, what I do? What I do? She's just waylaying on the kid. I mean, you feel bad for him, and Ralphie's just like, it's like the worst day he's ever had. Like, so they hang up the phone, you know what I mean? But and then you see the mom test the soap out, and she's like, I think a person that we should talk about a little bit real quick is his brother,
Randy. Randy's great.
She tells
Randy
him,
refuses
she's like,
to eat.
Yeah, and she's like, what's the pig say? Oh yeah, he's like, yeah. But
Randy lays like a slug because it's his only defense against the bully. That's a great line.
But I like when he's like, she's like, what is wrong with you? He's like, I can't put my arms down. She's like, she puts him down and she puts him back up. She puts him back up and she's like, and she was wrapping that thing around his head, and she's like, well, she takes off. She's like, what is wrong with you? He's like, I can't put my arms down. And so she's like, well, put him down when you get to school. He's like, she wraps him back up, and sends him on his way.
Like when they're walking, he's just like waddling along.
He reminds me of like Patrick Starfish from SpongeBob, but he just waddles. But I thought it was always funny too, like his aunt, sent him like that Hindenburg stuff.
Zeppelin.
Yeah. And then Ralphie, poor kid, she's like, well, what'd you get? And he's like, my aunt always thought I was a girl. He gets that pink bunny outfit.
Pink nightmare.
He's like, go try it on. He's like, no, I don't want to try it on. Go try it on. So he has to go upstairs. She's like, Ralphie, come down. He's like, I don't want to come down. So he comes down, man, in that pink thing. And his dad's like, what are you wearing? He's like, do you want to get out of that thing? He's like, yeah. He's like, get up there and take that thing off. She's like, okay, but you have to wear it for like 2 occasions, like when she comes to visit and something else. I was like, poor kid. You got anything else to add right there before I keep going?
Well, I got a couple trivia. Well, they're not really trivia questions, but I just wanted to introduce him. There's a certain movie. Well, let's go to the setting. The setting was the actual year's never given in the movie, but you got references like Little Orphan Annie on the radio.
Right.
The Red Rider, the Red Rider BB gun, which was a comic strip in the late 30s, early 1940s. But the Wizard of Oz is referenced 3 times in the movie, which that was interesting, considering that would have only been like a year old at that point in time. And being that was one of your first podcasts, what was your first podcast? It's how you guys always talk about everything's all connected.
Yeah.
Well, that's how we connect a Christmas story to your first podcast, The Wizard of Oz.
But I thought it was funny, man. He waited and waited and waited and waited to get that decoder ring, and just waited and waited and waited. And he's like, he goes up to the bathroom, he locks himself, and he's like, he gets those numbers. He's like 52. Beat, and he's in there decoding. He's like blah blah blah, and he's like drink, and all that.
Ovaltine.
Yeah, and he's like, come on, I gotta go to the bathroom. He's like, drink a stupid commercial. He's so bad.
I'd be mad too, to be honest.
You wait that long.
Oh, by the way, the St. Catherine's Museum owns some props used in the film, including 2 pairs of Ralphie's glasses, and including the pair that was smashed, and also 2 scripts of the movie.
Okay.
So that's pretty cool.
I'll throw out a random question. If you can have one, I'll bring the question that we've brought into
one
our
prop?
other ones. Yep, one prop from this movie. What would you take?
I think it's pretty obvious,
you can't,
right?
Yeah, no, I mean...
No? You'd want something else?
Because you know you're not going to get that.
No.
I would have to say... well, I'll tell you mine as soon as let me finish these 2 points real quick, and then we'll leave this for the end. Let's finish that in case it jogs something else and you remember. This was the inspiration for the creation of The Wonder Years.
I did read that. That's
Let's see. They said, according to Peter Billings, not many major studios were interested in a story about a little boy in the 1940s who wanted a BB gun for Christmas. They said the studio agreed to make this film if Bob Clark agreed to make a horror film for him. Okay. So,
one of those famous Hollywood compromises.
Not Porky's 2, 3, and 4.
Right.
Which is what he's...
And here it is. Where's that other? I have another thing. I think I remember it. But the Chinese restaurant is named Bo Ling. There is a neon sign across the top of the storefront that reads bowling, except the W is not lit. But when they filmed that scene with the duck, the duck? the mom was given a different script. She did not know the head was going to come off.
Oh no!
And he filmed the reaction because everybody else knew about it except her. So
that's why she yelled.
Yeah,
screamed out when they cut the head off.
Funny, you know what I mean? So all right, so let's talk about the. Well, you got something else. Go ahead. I see you lighting up over there like a Christmas tree.
No. I've just I pretty much covered everything that I think was in my notes. The little Orphan Annie references and
we might
the setting and all the things that went into the setting. I think
I'm probably going to throw in an interview here that Eric sent me with Peter Billingsley. I think he's on Dan Patrick's show.
Yeah, it's maybe a quick little 5-minute
interview. So it'll tell you a little bit about what happened to some of the props and stuff like that. So I'll try to throw that in at the end. So Eric, what prop are you taking?
I'm taking the gun if I can get my hands
taking the gun.
On it.
I'm taking the leg lamp. That's something we didn't talk about.
That's what
because
I was thinking.
The major award.
The major award. He actually won something, and I can't believe we haven't talked about it to this point. That dad, they bring in that big old crate. He's like, I won a major award, and they drop it over. He says, "Oh, I love what to say,
fragile."
And she's like, I think that says fragile. He's like, go get the crowbar, go get the hammer, or whatever. He opens up. He's like, oh, it's got to be in here somewhere. He's like, would you look at that? He wasn't out such enough. And Robbie's like, would you look at that? And he's like, wow. And this was like, and he's still digging around. He's like, oh. He's like, it's a lamp. Just a one leg with the lamp. He's like, go put it over here. And then he's like, I got to see what it looks like from the street. So he's like, no, to the right. He wants to get it perfectly centered there. And that lamp plays a part of the movie because the mom does not like it. And there's a part where she's cleaning. And it breaks. And Ralphie says, what? He's like, something happened right now that was resented in her house for the rest of our lives or whatever when she broke and he's like, go get the glue. And she's like, we're out of glue. You see him trying to put it together, it falls apart again. And they said that he took it out in the backyard and buried it.
That's a good scene.
It's a great scene, man. A great scene. So I'm taking the leg lamp.
I was going to say the leg lamp, too.
Yeah. I mean, you can't go wrong with the leg lamp or the gun.
If you want one, you can actually go buy
one.
Yeah.
But they're the miniature one. We want the big one.
I want the one from the set.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I might even take, like, the soap bar.
Okay.
You know what I mean? I'm sure it wasn't real. You know what I mean? That'd be cool to have. So, Eric, I know what your thoughts is. Let's get Terrence's thoughts first, then we'll go to yours, because I know...
Classic movie, man. I mean, they play it 24 hours on the day of,
That's how popular it is.
Yeah, if you haven't seen it by now, you've been living under a rock somewhere.
Sure, Terrence, have you seen it?
It's hard to avoid this movie, to be honest. Like, if you've, at any point in your life, had cable on during Christmas, you're seeing this movie. Yeah. You're gonna see it.
There are some people that do not like this movie, though.
Really?
That's I mean, everybody's a critic, right?
What I'm saying is, I never really watched the movie growing up, and I mean, I don't want to say growing up, till a certain point growing up. You know what I mean? Like, to me, it was kind of boring. I'll be honest. When I was younger, just because you got the narrator and his voice is just mono. You know what I mean? It was no. And then, by then I had lost interest. You know what I mean? But now that I've watched it so many times, you see it's set in Indiana, and then you're like, then you played with BB guns, and then, you go through all that. I grew to appreciate it as I got older.
Sure.
So I can understand with somebody that may be younger, it may not gyrate
appeal
with them, appeal to them. But it's known as a Christmas classic for a reason.
Right. Yeah. It has grown in popularity, and Peter Billingsley talks about that in the interview a little bit. It's grown as the development of cable and VHS and DVD. It kind of grew in popularity. When it actually came out, it wasn't highly acclaimed as a movie. So I mean, I could see why.
It
did make a decent amount of money.
But also something else I want to say is maybe some of the reason that, and I don't know if you thought this far or hard about it.
Okay.
Maybe one of the reasons that some people do not like it is for the reason that they hold the Asian people are stereotyped in this movie. At the end of the movie, when they're singing, they can't pronounce the words to.
Yeah, possibly. I have thought about that.
So that may not gyrate, especially in today's culture and
Culture,
society
right.
that some people might find it offensive.
That shows the difference between 1983. That wouldn't have been probably something that
Right.
would have
I mean,
been
and then
emphasized as much as
that's
today.
like a lot of
Anybody who wants to be like like the PC police, they
Right.
Probably.
Well, I'm saying that's
They
like a
probably
lot of the
would.
stuff that you.
I'm not saying that, like,
was
negatively,
used back
just
then. That's why
No,
we
no,
put
no.
that disclaimer at the beginning of our
Yeah.
podcast, because there was different times and different eras.
Sure,
Does
I
it
mean,
make it
you
right?
can't-
No, but
You can't
can't
put every
change
movie
it.
into a mold and
right. That's what I'm
expect it all
saying.
to come
So
out. Yeah.
I thought maybe that might be some reason why some people may not like it. And that may be
Right.
true.
Yep, maybe.
So, okay, go ahead and give us. I know you're ready for
I had
it.
the complete opposite. I saw this movie for the first time on TV. It has a lot of significance. When I was actually 9, so I was the same age as Ralphie when I saw it for the first time.
And you had the same
It
glasses.
was probably.
I know you did.
It was a family favorite. It was how I connected with my dad. I mean, I've never heard him laugh louder or harder. And it was just something that it was kind of a tradition with our family. So there's that significance. I like the historical aspect and how they got all the props in the 1940s era. This would have been right on the precipice of World War II. I like the narration and the storytelling because, I mean, the vocabulary that the narrator used. I mean, it's just, I enjoy a lot of different aspects of the movie. So, yeah, I'm probably going to run on and on. I don't want to take up the whole time. But, yeah, it's definitely one of my top 5
But
Christmas
I
movies
think
of all
that
time.
Ralphie was perfectly cast because
Absolutely.
that scene in the school just sets the tone, man. When he's like, what are you talking about? I didn't. He doesn't say anything. Just his facial expressions right there, and he's like, the bell rang. Hey, I can't help you, bud. You're dumb enough to, because they triple dog dared him. Everybody's like,
Oh yeah.
And
he's like, he skipped the double dog. He went straight to the triple dog.
triple dog.
He's like, he knew he was in trouble. Then he's like, I'll do it. Yeah.
And I heard Bob Clark basically cast him off top. Like, they knew that Peter Billingsley was going to play Ralphie Parker, but they went ahead and,
Interviewed
screen
other
tested
people.
a few other people to make it, look like, they were actually auditioning for the job. But I think he kind of had in his mind, because he had seen him in commercials, I think, so he knew that he would be the perfectly cast for that role. But yeah,
Right.
he's great.
So, if you haven't seen this movie, definitely check it out. As you can tell by even Terrence liking it, it's hard for a movie that may not appeal to some of the millennials.
Here's the thing, like I think it's even in my age bracket, a lot of people have seen this. You'd have to go to the generation after me, which what are they?
Right.
Gen Z, right? So Gen Z would be the one that I would say
Might not appeal to
might
them.
not appeal to it, might not connect to it. I mean, these are the high school kids now and stuff like
Yeah.
that. Like, you look at the youngest millennial, they're out of college, man. So like, we've all seen it. All my friends have seen this movie. We've all enjoyed it. So I think when it comes to trying to see who likes this movie and who doesn't, I mean, I think as far as when we're talking about generations and stuff,
Yeah.
jokes aside, like, I think most millennials
It
like
would
this movie.
appeal
And-
to them.
Exactly. And like, most of us are like in that half and half, like, oh yeah, most of us spent some time out of the whole PC age, let's say. And like I said, once again, I'm not saying that negatively. It's a whole gray area of stuff that we don't want to unpack. But and then, when older in our lives, that's when things, become more PC, and now we're trying to be like, okay, let's be sensitive to certain things, which, I agree. And then other times it's like, just let things be, as far as like older movies are, right?
Right.
And so, yeah, that's pretty much it. Like, I enjoy it. I know a lot of my friends enjoy it. I'm pretty sure you talk to anybody else, especially within my age group, I'm almost 30. They've seen it. They'll probably like it.
Yeah.
It's a classic
Mixed bag,
movie, man. Exactly. You'll get a mixed bag, like with anything else. But this, as far as I know, is more positive than negative that I've heard.
Right. So probably right here is where I'll insert the interview with Ralphie, all grown up, on the Dan Patrick Show. So take a listen to this.
How often do you hear something about A Christmas Story?
I hear it multiple times a year, especially around this time. It's crazy. It's like the movie that, when it came out, not to a lot of fanfare, was sort of a medium hit and then kind of went away. And this was back in '83, and I think because of the boom of cable and video, it just started growing every year, and then started working its way up these lists of all-time favorites, and then got in top fives. And it still seems as relevant today as it did then.
Do you remember the premiere? Did you go to a premiere?
Yeah, well, it was more kind of regional back then, so it didn't have the kind of big Hollywood fanfare that it did. But the Academy of Motion Pictures just did a screening of the 35th anniversary, and I just saw it in a theater with like 700 people on a 35-millimeter print, and it was awesome. And you got to see it with a crowd and hear where all the laughs were, and it gave me a newfound appreciation for the movie.
If I would have told you 35 years ago, hey, you know what? They're going to be playing that forever. It'll be one of the more popular movies, Christmas movies of all time. What would you have said?
No way in hell would that happen. This was an odd little movie. It took them 12 years to get it made.
Oh, wow.
It was based on an anthology of short stories. Bob Clark, who directed the movie, took him 12 years. He had done some horror films. In fact, the first day that I got there, he was excited. He said, I just finished my last film. I'm doing a screening tonight. Would love you to come see it. Went to watch it. It was Porky's 2. So not exactly the kind of family fare that would catapult this film to greatness. But it was a really interesting example, Dan. It was like, I sort of describe it as the lunch pail movie, like people just taking their lunch pail to work and working hard. I'd been on a lot of big budget movies that did not do well, where there was all the hype and, oh, kid, this is going to make you a star. And this one, like, they were so well prepared and they just got it. And it was a refreshing experience. It was challenging. We shot it in Cleveland and in Canada. We shot in the cold in the winter in January outside. But it was a very different experience than I had ever had, and it was probably a pretty good lesson learned early for me.
Did you save anything from that movie?
Well, my mom always kept memorabilia from all the things I did with no hope that, they would have any value or anything. But I actually have the bunny suit. I have the cowboy outfit, and I have the original gun, which is crazy.
Oh, that's great. You got the Red Rifle BB gun.
I've got the gun, and I have the pink suit.
Oh. What do you think that gun is worth?
So good.
What do you think that gun's worth?
I don't know. It's kept in a humidity-controlled safe, I can tell you that. Off-site.
Okay.
So we do perceive a value on it.
The bunny outfit.
Yeah.
It looks painful. Like, you play the role brilliantly. Are you really in pain? Are you, like, just sad? Like, you're any kind of masculinity is taken away from you, even at that age. How old were you at the time?
Not a lot of acting required in that moment, for sure. Embarrassing on the set. I'll tell you the worst one, though, is a scene that was cut out of the movie. There was another fantasy sequence that was a big space deal. We were up on the moon, and Flash Gordon was pinned down by Ming the Merciless, and I got the call, Ralphie did, to come save him, in my own mind, of course. And I show up there, and the wardrobe lady had designed these teeny, shiny silver, like, panties for me to wear. And I was outraged and so self-conscious. And probably my performance in that scene is why it's not in the movie.
How old were you at the time?
12.
Oh, okay. So right on the
12, looking and playing younger.
Yeah. Well, you did well. And we were wondering what we would want out of that. Where's the pole that Flick put his tongue on? Did anybody ever take that pole?
No, that was just, you know what it was? It was basically the way you would have designed it in your mind if you were forced to do it. It was like it wasn't metal. It was sort of a piece of plastic, and it had a teeny tiny hole that sucked air. And the camera was just at an angle that you couldn't see it. So they had just wrapped that over an actual flagpole, and that was it.
Hold on. This is breaking news. This is breaking news. We've been wondering for years now.
There you go.
Man.
Movie magic, special effects, broken down.
For more Dan Patrick Show, tune to Audience Channel 239 on DirecTV or download the Dan Patrick Show app.
All right, so there you have it, straight from the Red Rider himself. I'm hoping you're enjoying the 12 Days of Christmas movies. Up next, which means tomorrow, we will be doing the probably one of my favorite Christmas tradition movies, the old Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer.
Another
And
classic
I
to see
love the
every
clay
Christmas.
animation stuff they do.
The claymation
Fantastic
stuff is all good.
Right.
Oh,
so
man, it's so great.
I don't want to start discussing this because I'll just go off on a tangent. And I've already got myself in trouble this episode. So with that being said, we're going to go ahead and close this one down. And that's a wrap.
And cut.